Welcome back to another episode of Poor Decisions, the true crime and wine podcast where we sip, spill, and solve some seriously twisted stories. I am your host, Bryn, and today's case comes with a trigger warning. We are diving deep into the heartbreaking case of Madeline Soto, a 13-year-old girl who was repeatedly sexually assaulted and eventually murdered by her mom's long-term boyfriend. This case is a viewer recommendation coming from Jocelyn Marin. So grab your glass, pour up, and let's dive in. Now, before we get into the wine of the week, let's talk about our sponsor, Wine Girl. If you're a girl who loves wine like me and cute, fashionable accessories, then Wine Girl is the perfect place for you to shop. Visit winegirl.com to purchase cute wine-inspired merch, just like this shirt I'm wearing now, and plenty others. And be sure to use our exclusive code PD15 at checkout to receive 15% off your order. Now let's get into the wine of the week. This week we are sipping on something sweet. We have a Moscato from the brand Seven Daughters. Now I want y'all to look really closely. Isn't this bottle cute? Like, I love the artwork that's in the seven. And what's pretty cool is that this particular one is a creative collaboration between the brand Seven Daughters and Taraji P. Henson. Now, this wine is sweet, light, bright, and refreshing, made from 100% Muscat grapes from our vineyards in Veneto, Italy. Robust flavors and citrus aromas perfectly balanced with flavors of almond, fresh white peaches, orange zest, and lemon custard. This particular wine has an ABV of 7.5%, so something kind of light, nothing too heavy, so let's get into it. I did already go ahead and pour up, of course, in my exclusive Poor Decision glass, so let's take a sip. Y'all know I love my sweet wines. It's Moscato. Y'all already know it's sweet. You can't really go wrong with Moscato. I like it. It tastes like Moscato. Now, without further ado, let's dive into this case. Now, again, this case has a trigger warning. We will be talking about a very sensitive topic, and I will be giving you guys a lot of details that are super sensitive. I do not want to be flagged by YouTube, so I will be switching up some of my vocabulary. So if you hear me mention that something is spicy or use the word spicy, as an adult, you know what that means. I have to switch up the language again. We don't want to be flagged or anything like that. In this case is probably the one that will make that happen. So viewer discretion is advised. Madeline Soto, aka Maddie, was born on February 22nd, 2011 in Kissimmee, Florida. Unfortunately, just 4 days after her 13th birthday on February 26, 2024, she was reported missing. She was last seen that morning around 8:30 a.m. with Stephen Stearns, her mother's long-term on-again, off-again boyfriend. Stephen Stearns said that morning he was giving Maddie a ride to school to Hunters Creek Middle School. He stated she asked him to drop her off in the parking lot of a nearby church, which was Peace United Methodist Church, so that she could walk the rest of the way. I'm assuming that, like some kids are, they feel a little bit more grown up walking to school rather than getting dropped off by, their parents. Or maybe she just wanted to meet up with her friends. But she was last seen on church cameras sitting in the parking lot before getting up and walking away towards the direction of the school. But unfortunately, Maddie would never arrive to school that day. Madeline's mother, Jennifer Soto, arrived to pick up Maddie from school at around 4:30 p.m. But upon her arrival, she saw that the school was closed and Maddie was nowhere in sight. Jennifer then drove around the area looking for Madeline, but still could not locate her. She even went to Maddie's grandmother's office, which was located in the area, thinking that Maddie could have possibly walked there after school, but she had not. Jennifer contacted some of Maddie's friends, and they too had not seen her. Jennifer then emailed Maddie's teacher, but was told that Maddie had not shown up for school that day and was marked absent the entire day. Jennifer then called police, and Maddie was officially reported missing at 8:30 p.m. She was last seen wearing a green jacket, black shorts, and white Crocs.
Law enforcement is issuing a missing child alert for Madeline Soto. Orange County Sheriff's Office shared her missing person poster earlier today. The 13-year-old was last seen around 8:30 yesterday morning near Town Loop Boulevard and Hunters Park Lane in Orlando.
When police arrived to the home, a brief search was performed. Her cell phone was found at the home. Jennifer advised officers that Maddie was diagnosed with ADHD, which caused her to be very forgetful, so she often accidentally forgot her phone at home. The following morning, more than 50 law enforcement officers started searches for Madeline, which included K-9 units as well. During this time, their community came together and also joined the search. Madeline's mother, Jennifer, also did interviews with local news stations to help spread awareness. Now let's take a look at one of the interviews and pay close attention because you can actually see her boyfriend, Stephen Stearns, just pacing around in the background, like never leaving too far from behind Jennifer.
Well, Monday morning, we took her to school. We dropped her off close to school, across the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school. She crossed the street and walked to school, what we thought walked to school. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
Did y'all peep how she tells the story? To me, it's as if like she was fed what to say and is trying to recite it, but she can't really fully remember what she's supposed to say. Like maybe it's just me, but that's what it's given. But anyway, 2 days after Maddie was reported missing, the sheriff's office held a press conference and continued searches with more than 100 people. Now, as we know in crime cases, they always investigate the family and closest people, and this case was no different. Police did a search of Stephen Stearns' phone records and discovered that he had allegedly accidentally factory reset his phone, not just once, but twice. And conveniently, it was on the exact day that Maddie had disappeared. Like, let's get real. How can you accidentally do that? Like, not once, but twice. Yeah, no. Anyway. And on February 28th, just 2 days after Maddie went missing, Stephen Stearns was arrested for spicy battery and explicit child material, which was discovered on his phone. And these details of the images is a trigger warning in itself, so beware. In the affidavit, it lists some things which I am going to be quoting exactly the contents from the affidavit as it reads in relation to the media that was found on the phone. Now, in the affidavit, there is a name that is redacted. So I'm going to read that it's redacted, but based upon the context clues, we can tell that the name that's redacted is clearly Madeline's, okay? So let's get into it. There was explicit photos of redacted or Madeline's breast, vaginal opening, and anal opening as the focal point of the images. There were also photos and videos of redacted Madeline's mouth and vaginal opening being penetrated by a penis. The penis in these photos had distinct markings, including bright pinkish skin below the head of the penis until approximately a quarter of the length down the shaft of the penis. End quote. Now, the images on his phone also assure that the acts were committed inside of the family's home, as they were able to identify sheets and blankets that matched in the home, as well as the images found on Stearns' phone.
Stephen, where's Maddie? Did you hurt her? Are you a What's on your cell phone? Why aren't you talking to investigators? Where was Maddie last seen? Why aren't you helping her mother and her family? This is a little girl. Help them find Maddie. Where is Maddie? Where is she? What did you do with her? Tell us something.
Now, on day 5 of Maddie being missing, another press conference at the Orange County Sheriff's Office was held, where they announced, and I quote, investigators are confident that Madeline Soto is dead, and they believe that Stephen Stearns never took her to school that morning. This was now a recovery search for a dead body instead of trying to find an actual missing person. Let's take a sip. Now, if y'all are hearing some extra noises right here while we're recording, my dog is laying right next to me, so she wanted to be a part, so she's right here. So do not be alarmed at the extra noises. It is her. Investigators then uncovered video footage from a nearby apartment complex showing Stephen Stearns throwing trash bags into the garbage dumpsters at around 7:30 a.m. on the day that Madeline was last seen. After further investigation, those trash bags contained Madeline's book bag and school-issue laptop. More video surveillance from the same apartment complex showed Stephen Stearns returning to the complex around 8:19 a.m., and Madeline is clearly shown in the front passenger seat of the car slumped over. She was like appealing to be asleep, but they believe that she was actually already dead.
We have evidence that shows Stephen Stearns returning to the complex, and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already dead at that time.
On March 1st, 2024, around 4:30 p.m., just hours after the press conference, Madeline's deceased body was found at the edge of a wooded area off of Hickory Tree Road, in the exact spot that apparently Stephen Stearns had been spotted with a flat tire on the same day that Maddie disappeared.
Breaking news at 6. Sources just confirmed to Channel 9 the body of missing 13-year-old Madeline Soto has been found. We have learned that a tip called in after this afternoon's press conference with Orange County Sheriff John Mina led detectives to her body. Law enforcement from several agencies still out at the scene right there off of Hickory Tree Road in Osceola County.
This is certainly a heartbreaking update to this major story we've been following for you since Monday. This morning, the main suspect who you see here in her disappearance, Stephen Stearns, was taken from the Orange County Jail to the Osceola County Jail. And then this afternoon, the Orange County Sheriff told us investigators believed Madeline was dead. But at the time, they had not found her body. The Kissimmee Police Department is now leading what they are calling, obviously, a murder investigation. We have live team coverage on this major story for you tonight from Orange to Osceola County following the latest developments. We start with Channel 9's Nick Papantonis, who is live near the scene where, again, sources confirm for us Madeline's body has been found. Nick, what are you seeing out there?
So we're on the other side of this field on Hickory Tree Road. We're going to zoom in all the way to where deputies have set up a light. We can see a couple cars worth of flashing lights. Hickory Tree Road shut down for a good couple mile stretch. We're inside of that perimeter right now as we watch them somewhat do their investigation. A long line of vehicles on the side of the road there. They appear to be focusing their efforts on the woods just off to the side of the road.
Yeah, Chris, under these changing circumstances, they say now it's time to mourn with the community, the family, and Maddie's classmates.
It broke my heart because the first thing that came to my mind was my own daughter. And I'm sure that everybody thinks of that at a tragic moment like this one.
From a missing person to a homicide, community members are trying to come to grips with what is now a death investigation in the disappearance of 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
The medical examiner determined Madeline's cause of death to be strangulation. Now let's take a sip for Maddie. I actually don't know if that was appropriate now because she is a kid. So if I take a sip of our wine for Madeline. I think it's fitting though. As the investigation intensified, law enforcement recovered more disturbing images and videos of Stephen Stearns getting spicy with Madeline. This said evidence dated back to 2022 when Madeline was just 11. However, it is believed that Stephen Stearns had actually been spicy abusing Madeline since she was just 8 years old. Like the disgust. On April 24th, 2024, Stephen Stearns was formally indicted for first-degree murder, spicy battery, and possession of child spicy abuse materials. Stearns initially pled not guilty to the charges of murder and over 60 counts of spicy battery. The spicy is taking me out, but we gotta switch it up because this whole case is kind of centered behind spicy activity. So I don't want to say spicy, the actual word too. We're just gonna keep going with the spicy anyway. Stearns' legal team filed motions to suppress the phone evidence, claiming it was seized without a warrant. That motion was denied. They also sought to strike the death penalty as being unconstitutional under state law, and this also was denied, blocked. Stephen Stearns' trial was set to begin just this past Monday on July 21st, 2025, but in the last hour, Stearns changed his plea to no contest to first-degree murder charge, which is pretty much legally equivalent to pleading guilty without the admission of guilt. Like you're saying you're guilty pretty much without saying you're guilty. And he pleaded guilty to 20 counts of spicy abuse. The plea deal was negotiated between prosecutors and Madeline's family. This meant that Stearns would avoid the death penalty and would also waive his right to any possible appeals, ensuring closure and sparing Madeline's family from any prolonged trauma of continued court trials and appearances. Now, in court, Stephen Stearns gave a brief statement saying, and I quote, "It is not fair Madeline is not here. I prayed to God countless times to trade places with her. She truly was a joy. I apologize for all the pain that you caused, might I add." Anyway, Madeline's father, Tyler Wallace, emotionally addressed Stearns back, saying, "I can't grasp the selfishness of you. You're depraved, you're weak, you're a coward, and it will never heal with time." He definitely is a coward. And I'm going to take a sip to her dad because this man is definitely a coward and he definitely is weak. We agree, so let's take a sip. Now, Judge Keith Karsten imposed a final sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole for both the murder and for all 20 counts of spicy abuse. Now, we're going to take another sip, y'all, because that wraps up all the facts behind this tragic case of Madeline Soto. I'm going to just finish this. I think any case that involves children is extra horrible, but this one is really crazy. So it is time to jump into our case discussion. I'm going to pour up a little bit more. But I do want to remind you guys that during the case discussion, this is completely all my opinion. I have brought you guys all the facts prior to this time frame. So now we're going to get into how I feel about this case. Now, this case was recommended in my comments, again, from Jocelyn Marin last week when I posted the episode. Are you okay? Last week when I posted the episode about Alexi Treviso. First of all, let me backspace on that because shout out to everyone who tuned into that episode. We have lots of views. We have more views on that video than any of our views since we have started this podcast. So special thanks to you guys. And you guys definitely hopped in the comments and got the conversation going and kept it going. So we started discussing this case of Madeline Soto based off upon Alexi Treviso. That's how we got here, just letting you guys know. But now that we are here, I have one question for the case discussion, and it's pretty simple. Do you believe that Madeline's mother, Jennifer Soto, had any idea of what was going on, from the spicy abuse to the murder? Please let me know what you guys think. Comment down below, and let's get the conversation going. So you guys know, if you've been here for a while, I pretty much stick to all the facts prior to this point. There is extra fluff involved in these cases, but I kind of pick out the details that are mostly important. Some of the fluff you don't need to know. But I'm going to give you some of that fluff now, okay? Some of that fluffy information. So apparently, the house where the Soto family lived, they lived there with like 2 other roommates. The way it sounds, it's like people were just renting rooms in this house, and the Sotos rented 2 rooms. They had 1 room that was upstairs and 1 room that was downstairs. So apparently, there will be times where they all might be in a communal area, like watching TV together, and then when, let's say, Jennifer, the mom, got sleepy, and I think she said because of her job, and I didn't do that, add that extra info in. I don't remember what she does for a living, but I think it was because of her job. Like, she would be extra tired, so she would go to sleep in the room downstairs, and then she would send Maddie to go to sleep upstairs in the room with Stefan. Like, I don't know. To me, that's just kind of weird. Like, again, Stefan Stearns is just Jennifer's on again, off again, long-term boyfriend. He is not Madeline's father. So for her to be like 8 when a lot of people speculate that the abuse started, or even 11, which is when the evidence we have started, I don't think that's appropriate at all, that you send your little child to go sleep in the bed with another man. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I don't care how long. Like, I'm not a mom, but if I had been, I would not send my child to go sleep in the same bed at night with my boyfriend. I don't care if we've been together for 10, 15 years. Like, she's a child, and that's just really inappropriate. You are not her dad. Like, I even feel like for, when it comes to female children after a certain age, even sleeping in the same bed with your dad is kind of like inappropriate. So I don't know. It kind of makes me second guess. Like, I don't know. Like, let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think that it's inappropriate? If any of you guys are moms, and let's say that you're with someone who is not your child's father, would it be okay for your child to sleep in the same bed with them? Let me know what you guys think. I'm definitely curious to get some parents' information. But again, in my opinion, Jennifer, the mom, she kind of gives me like the vibe of a woman who, no offense to her, definitely no offense to her, but she kind of gives me the vibe of a woman who's just kind of like really desperate to like keep her man, that she would maybe do like anything to please him. Like, I don't know how you guys all live in the same house, and for years this has been going on and you don't know. Now, granted, I know that there are cases where stuff like this happens and the parents absolutely do not know, but I don't know. I believe that she knew, or at least had an inkling. Like, she had some idea that this was happening. Like, how can he abuse her for 5 years and you not know anything? And then she also stated in one of her interviews with police that her and Maddie were like really close, and that Maddie told her everything. Maddie would confide in her. Like, if Maddie liked the boy, she would tell her. So if you guys were that close and he was like abusing her, why didn't she tell you? I don't know. That part is hard for me to wrap my head around. Now, just to clear things up, Jennifer has never been charged in connection to this crime, but a lot of people speculate this, whether or not she knew or whether she did not know. And a lot of people feel like the same as me, that she really did know. And if you watch her demeanor in the different interviews that she done, you guys, I always let you guys know to do your own research, inform yourselves, even outside of the information that I bring you in this podcast, because there's so much more to see. There are lots of other news interviews besides just the one that I showed you guys. So tap into those. You can just see in her demeanor. One of the interviews that she did, I hate to connect previous cases to ones I'm talking about, but her vibe, when they said like anything that you would want to say to Maddie if she's watching or people listening, it was very giving me remnants of Chris Watts. Like how distant and unattached he was when he was giving his news interview. Like, it's almost like you guys are telling on yourselves without really telling on yourself. Like, you want us to believe you, but I don't think that we're really picking up what you're putting down. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think, yes or no, that Madeline's mother, Jennifer, knew anything that was going on? And if she knew and didn't stop anything or tell authorities, which she did not, she's claiming that she had no idea, I definitely believe that she should be charged if it ever comes out that she knows. I don't know if we will ever know. I mean, he took his plea deal, so he's just in there facing what he has to face. I don't know. He might eventually come out and be like, she helped me or she knew. I don't know. We'll keep watch for that. Let me know what you guys think. Give me your comments down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to this channel. Follow us on Instagram at @ispoordecisions. That way you can get the sneak peek of the wine of the week every week and then tune into all updates. Now it's time for our wine rating, y'all. It's a Moscato. It tastes like a Moscato. I feel like all Moscatos taste the same. I like Moscatos, but as I'm on this journey with you guys, broadening my palate and trying different wines, it's funny because Moscato used to be my favorite wine. It's kind of like, I don't want to say not doing anything for me because, y'all, I'm definitely hot. So I definitely know it's inside of me and it's working. I'm hot. I feel it a little bit, but for me now, I think I'm kind of getting up out of that super sweet mode. So for me, it's not really doing what I need it to do as far as taste-wise. It's almost giving to me like it's too sweet. And I used to love a Moscato, but hey, that means our palate is expanding. We are on our way. So for my wine rating for this week, I'm going to give the Seven Daughters Moscato a 2 out of 3 cheers. Only because for me, it's not satisfying me right now. I think I want something with a little bit more bite, a little bit more dry. But if you like super sweets, Moscatos are always the way to go, in my opinion. They're delicious. But I can see that I'm kind of getting off of that. So I'm actually pretty proud of myself. If you tried this wine with me, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. If you guys have any wine recommendations that you want me to try, also leave the information down below. We need all the recommendations that you guys can give us, as well as cases. Any cases that you know that you want me to cover, let me know. I will definitely do my due diligence, do my research, and let's talk about it. And don't forget to check out our sponsor, Wine Girl, at shopwinegirl.com and use our code PD15. And you guys already know, until next time, make good choices and not poor decisions.